Our starting grid for Mission King of the Baggers for race number 2 has Gillum, Peterson, and Landis.
Then we got Wyman, Herfoss, and O'Hara on row number 2. Row number 3 is going to see Rispoli, Smith, Baz, Lewis, West, and Ohnsorg outside of row number 4 with Max Flinders just on the back, and we're ready to roll.
So here we go, race number 2. When these red lights are off, we're getting after it. Ooh, a little bit of movement from your pole sitter. Doesn't look like it would be anything, but here we go. Look at Kyle Wyman on the 33 getting a good launch.
Yes,
and it's going to be Wyman. No, it's going to be side by side with Gillum.
Hayden Gillum gets there first, Greg. Wyman's going to fall into second on that all-new gold livery on his bike for this race. And then it's going to be one of the Indians there in third.
He was not inside of the top 3 going into turn 1. He did not think he had a shot to go for another victory here today, and you can see that that's exactly the way that this first lap has played out for him. So now that he's up there with Hayden Gillum, he feels like the pace that he has, the end of this race is going to be enough, and hopefully he can find himself back on the top box.
Yeah, you're going to need the end of this race right now because Hayden Gillum is scooching away, and boy, do I like to just introduce Jamie into the broadcast right as the bikes go by her on the front straightaway.
As soon as he can, because right now we know he can run the pace. As you can see him get down the inside of Kyle Wyman. That's going to move Cam Peterson up a spot. Can he hold on to that spot? He can. He doesn't run it wide or anything, Greg. Just gets that big Indian turned, and the 45 runs second. But Kyle's still going to have some problems because he's got the number 1 of Herfoss and Baz right there, and then Rocco. So you got Rocco Landers, our third place finisher yet.
But now they're starting to stack up behind the 33 of Kyle Wyman, your national champion. Stays in this class. He'll be running the number 1 plate next season. I haven't heard what Kyle's doing next year yet, have you?
No, I have not heard anything, but as will all our riders. Troy Herfoss now is going to take the measure of the 33 as they go down that front straightaway, and Rocco Landers still looking for a way through. So Rocco just must not have got off the line maybe the best there, Greg, for him to be that far back that early. Very unlike Rocco.
It was 1.4. It's now down to 0.8 of a second. So 0.6 of a second, and fastest lap of the race, 1:22.594 for Cameron Peterson on his Indian Challenger from the SDI Racing Crew. As Cameron Peterson goes fastest sector 4 of the race so far now with 4 to go. And it looks like this one might go down to the checkered flag again between these two. And although, as Jamie said, Hayden Gillum wanted to work on the setup of the bike and make sure he had a larger margin, we don't really know what Hayden Gillum has left to push faster. We know what Cam Peterson does is he was closed a pretty big gap just a couple laps in a couple laps time.
Yeah, it makes you feel good as a rider when you have to put your head down and catch the person in front of you. And as you can see, wow, they're going through puddles. He's off in the curb and he's wheeling, and he's gonna have Cam Peterson in probably the hardest turn to do a pass. Slide that big Indian up underneath the Harley Davidson. Now Hayden Gillum's gonna get to go to work.
Hayden Gillum was able to beat Peterson, but look at this. And by the way, that's after somebody had to run through some water. So you would think that even with slick tires, you run through a puddle. But he felt something on the rear end of that motorcycle.
I wouldn't be surprised if he knew that anyways, though. But to your point, Greg, it's like it's all eyes forward, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, but look at Camp P. He's just starting to streak away ever so slightly through that first sector. He's gone 22.6, tenth of a second. So again, not too many ticks off of that 22. Oh, look at Cam getting that thing backed in there, getting the thing slowed down. But for Cam Peterson and this whole team, I think they all had high hopes. But they had a lot of little mechanical injuries, mechanical problems, and then of course Cam had some injuries there along the way. And now it's just all come together, and it's come together at a good time right here at the end of the season in New Jersey. Here's the pass that Rocco Landers is going to put on Troy Herfoss down into turn number 1.
Oh, and Rocco down and out on the right part of your screen, asking too much from the front tire. Loses the front, the bike goes tumbling, and there is his season. So Rocco Landers off of that podium position and podium finish yesterday goes down.
Yeah, it's a bummer. And you know, Greg, really, when you look back at that, as we got the white flag out, Hayden Gillum is all over the back of Cam Peterson now, trying to make a pass down into turn 1.
There he goes, but so much speed from Cameron Peterson as the 69 had to slow that motorcycle down to get it turned, and Peterson knows that trick, and he goes up the inside And they were so close with those big bags on the back of these Mission King of the Baggers. And Cameron Peterson back to the front of this final lap of the final race of the season.
And Cam's going to have to keep it tight into turn 5. Don't give Hayden that shot to try to go down the inside of you here, as he doesn't. Cam does a nice job of blocking that. Make that guy go around the outside of you. At that point, you control all your apex speed, this Cam P, and he can use the exit as he likes. Comes through here at turn 6. This next turn would be a hard place to do it as well, as he gets that bike spinning up in the middle of the turn. So now, Greg, it really becomes one line from here all the way to the exit of the last turn. So for Hayden Gillum, I'm going back and thinking about what he did last year here in our Stock 1000 class. He slid up the underneath Jason Uribe going into turn 12, the fastest turn on the track. Will Hayden Gillum be close enough to try and move like that again? Or is he going to rely on the power of the Vanson Hines Harley to try to draft by that Indian?
Racecraft in the hands of the 45, Cameron Peterson. Here we go. Oh, that was so close. He's inside, outside. Here he goes. Full gas to the stripe, and it's got to be Cameron Peterson with the victory in the final race of the season for the SDI Racing Team and Indian Motorcycles. Troy Herfoss comes home in 3rd, and this battle between Tyler O'Hara and Bradley Smith in 7th and 8th. So it's Cameron Peterson, Hayden Gillum, Troy Herfoss, Indian, Harley Davidson, Indian to wrap up the season. And the battle between the U.S. Iron Makers continues to rage on. Look at the results as Cameron Peterson, 0.2 of a second over Hayden Gillum. What a great race that was, and well played by both riders. So they went back and forth the final 2 of the year. Troy Herfoss letting go of that number 1 plate, 4.7 seconds back. So now time to celebrate for all the riders, all the teams, in our final race of the season. And what a season has been for Mission King of the Baggers. And Cameron Peterson, one of the most popular riders, Jay, in our paddock. And look at our final standings. Kyle Wyman, the national champ. Loris Baz ends up the season in 2nd ahead of his teammate Troy Herfoss, Hayden Gillum in 4th, and Tyler O'Hara, your top 5.
Right there holding the big check with Troy Herfoss, Hayden Gillum. What I heard in all those interviews that we're at the end of the season, 2025 is coming to an end, and all the riders are already talking about 2026.